students, so now we have done with the functional group containing oxygen. So I already told you that there are total 5 examples which contain oxygen. That examples are included in our syllabus. So let's have a discussion on that. Students, how to identify that particular compound is alcohol, or that particular compound is aldehyde, or it is carboxylic acid, or it is ether, या तो फिर ये कीटोन है. So how to identify whether that particular compound contain which kind of functional group? So first of all, students, try to identify that particular compound contain which of the following functional group. After that, we will start with their IUPAC nomenclature. So before starting with IUPAC nomenclatures of compound containing oxygen, let us identify that particular compound is oxygen, or it is aldehyde, it is ketone, or it is carboxylic acid. So just now I told you, students, suppose I have a compound, suppose मेरे पास एक कार्बन का चेन है, it is CH3, again CH3, again CH3. Now students, from this CH3, one hydrogen I am replacing, I will write here CH2, and suppose if I am writing OH group here. Now students, try to identify which functional group is present in this particular compound. तो आप बता सकते हो इसमें कौन सा functional group present है? मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया था starting.
So it is having hydroxy.
Yeah, exactly. So this compound contain hydroxy group. This compound contain hydroxy group. Now students, hydroxy group, I already told you, hydroxy group means
alcohol.
Alcohol. So very good. This compound contain alcohol as functional group. So here functional group is alcohol. Now similarly, let's take some more examples.
So I have one question, sir.
Yes, exactly.
So this hydroxyl group will be always attached at the last.
No, it is not like that. Hydroxy group can be at any carbon atom of the chain. We can also put, instead of this carbon, I can put my OH group to the second carbon also. I can also put this OH group at here. Correct?
Okay.
So it is not like that OH group should always be at terminal position, means at the end. It is not like that. OH group can be in between the carbon chain. Now let us consider some more examples. Okay, now next. Students, suppose I have a carbon chain and I have written a functional group. Suppose this time I have 4 carbon atoms in a chain, and this time I am writing a functional group like this. Can you identify the functional group present in this organic compound? I can satisfy the rest of the valencies with hydrogen atom. So, can you identify the functional group?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So this is C double bond OH. It is a aldehyde.
Yeah, very good. So this organic compound contains aldehyde as a functional group. Just now you asked me a question that alcohol can be exist at the second carbon or third carbon. So here that condition is not possible. Why it is not possible? I'll explain just a minute. So first of all, this organic compound contains aldehyde as a functional group. Now student, a most important part is that this aldehyde group always exists at the last carbon atom. Aldehyde group always exists at terminal carbon. Aldehyde always exists at terminal carbon.
So sir, does it have any terminology for such type of things?
Terminology means like terminal carbon, it's not terminology. Terminal carbon means carbon which is present at the end. So I can see in this particular chain, this is terminal carbon and this will be terminal carbon.
No, yes, I wanted to ask you, if it is having aldehyde attached at the last carbon,
yes,
does it have any special name for that? No, na?
No, there is no such name.
Okay.
Now we'll study IUPAC name of this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So first of all, let's identify the functional group. After that, immediately I go for the IUPAC nomenclature of compound containing oxygen. There is special name for this compound we have. Now students, we cannot write aldehyde group in between the carbon chain. Suppose I'll write my C double bond O. So you can see valencies are already completed. So we cannot write hydrogen. That's why this aldehyde group can never be written in between the carbon chain. This aldehyde group always exists at terminal carbon. We cannot write in between the carbon chain. बट स्टूडेंट्स इसमें भी एक फंक्शनल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट हो गया है. सो लेट्स कंप्लीट द रेस्ट ऑफ द वैलेंसीज बाय हाइड्रोजन CH2 CH3. Yeah. So can you identify the functional group present in this compound?
Sir, this is C double bond O. C double bond O is ketone.
Yeah, very good. So this C double bond O in between two carbon atoms, so it can be considered as ketone group. So,
Sir, I have one question. Sorry to interrupt you, sir, in between. Sir, we in chemistry lab we have studied acetone. So thus acetone and ketone are belonging to the same.
Yeah, exactly. Acetone and ketone are same. But ketone, there can be so many examples of ketone. Ketone with 5 carbon, 6 carbon, 7 carbon, 8 carbon, 9 carbon, 10 carbon. But acetone has a special carbon atom. Acetone always contains 3 carbon. So acetone is a particular name of that compound which contains 3 carbon. Ketone is a general name that can be any carbon atom. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, student, one more explanation is that ketone can also exist. Like ketone can never be exist at terminal position. It always exists in between the carbon chain. So we can change the position of ketone here also. But aldehyde group cannot be changed from terminal position. It will always occupy terminal position. So this is ketone group. So I can say this compound contains ketone functional group. Okay. Now let's take one more example. Such kind of questions they can ask in your examination. They will give a structure and they will ask you identify the functional group present in that compound. Let's take one more example, students. CH3, CH2, C, double bond O, OH. Can you identify this functional group?
Sir, this is C double bond O OH is a carboxylic acid.
Exactly. This compound contains carboxylic acid as functional group. Carboxylic acid functional group present in this.
But can be written directly as COOH?
Yeah, you can also write this COOH. So you can also write like CH3, then again CH2, then COOH. You can write like this also. Got it? Now, so this compound contains carboxylic acid as a functional group. Okay. Now next, one more important point. Carboxylic acid always exists at terminal position. So carboxylic acid be terminal.
That means like acetone. No, like aldehyde.
Yeah.
Carboxylic acid is also terminal.
Yeah. Aldehyde and carboxylic acids are always exist at terminal position. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's take one more example, students. Suppose I have a compound like this: CH3, oxygen, then CH2, CH3. Can you identify this functional group?
Sir, you had written single bond O, single bond as a ether.
Yeah, exactly. So this compound contains.
So this is a ether.
Yeah, exactly. This compound is ether. This is ether.
But how to? This is ether means it is written as a ether. But how to name this type of compound?
I'll see in a UPSC nomenclature.
Okay.
There are certain rules. First of all, we are studying how to identify which kind of functional groups are there.
Okay. So right now we are studying only identification first.
Only identification.
First identification of functional group.
Functional group. After identification, I'll directly start with their IUPAC one by one. Okay. So now, student, there can be some compound which contain.
So can you tell us that is it possible ether and carboxylic group together in one?
Exactly. That is called polyfunctional group. Compound containing polyfunctional group. More than one functional groups are also possible in same compound.
Okay.
So
can you give us one example?
Yeah, there are so many examples are possible with that also. So now I consider a compound containing polyfunctional group. उसको आप बोल सकते हो.
So this was a monofunctional group?
Yeah, this was monofunctional group. There was only one functional group present in that compound.
So can we say that it is having monofunctional, difunctional?
Difunctional, if there are two functional groups, then
trifunctional, and more than 4, 5 it is called as poly.
Tetra and penta.
Yeah. Last lecture you have explained us that.
Exactly. So now we'll study some compound containing polyfunctional group. Polyfunctional group means there can be more than one functional group present in that compound. So students, now I am giving you a structure. You have to identify how many functional groups are present in that compound and name each and every functional group.
So this type of question can be asked in
They can ask for 2 marks.
Okay.
So now writing a structure, you have to identify how many functional groups are present. CH3CHOH, again CH2, C double bond O, CH2, C double bond O, OH. Okay, so try to identify there are how many functional groups.
So if we are going it from left hand side, first it is a single bond OH means alcohol.
Yeah, so there is an alcohol group here we have.
Yeah. Next is CH2, C double bond O. C double bond O is acetone.
Yeah, this
sorry,
functional group
ketone.
This functional group is of ketone.
Yeah.
Between 2 carbon
and C double bond OH is carboxylic.
Exactly. So this last will be a carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. There can be aldehyde. There can be ethers also. Okay. So in this way they can ask question like name the functional group and how many functional groups are present. So we can say there are 3 functional groups, that is alcohol, ketones and carboxylic acid. Okay. Now after that, I'll explain how to give name to any alcohol.